Hey, what's up, family? Here we are, back for another week. We are in week 4, baby, of The Artist's Way. Ta-da! And this is a check-in, so I'm reporting to you live from one of my favorite places in Washington, D.C. It's Anacostia Park. Let me show you where I'm at, or what I'm looking at. So I have my picnic blanket situated right here in front of the river. Some greenery. We got our homies to the side with all the music jamming. Bruh, like you could have parked in another place. I want my peace. But it's cool because, you know what, I can hear all the other sounds. I've been grounding, using all my senses. Like, it's a good space. It's a good space. All right, y'all. So week 4 was recovering a sense of integrity. And if you know me, that is one of my core values. And it's really cool because in my mindfulness course, we've always been talking about our core values. And integrity is one of my core values, like living your authentic self, your authentic life. And so that's what week 4 was about. But before we get into week 4, let's just have a couple breaths. I've been grounding and I want you to ground with me. So wherever you are, just kind of wiggle yourself into a space that's cozy and just settle there. Maybe you're closing your eyes or giving yourself the soft gaze. I'm going to close my eyes and we're going to take 3 breaths together. Take a deep inhale in for the first and exhale. Inhaling in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Last one, best one. Deep breath in and exhaling through the mouth. Maybe you're blinking your eyes open, doing a little jig side to side because it feels good to breathe on purpose. And you know what? It feels good to be here on week 4 of The Artist's Way. So my check-in, it talks about how this week we're entering a space of truth-telling to ourselves, and we're starting to be aware of the things that are kind of holding us back or the things that we've outgrown and beginning to release it. Release. So it's almost like a week of releasing. And one of the cool things about this week 4, I was half in Belize and then half back in the States. And it's very interesting because it talks about how this week 4 is like an intensive intensive emotional housekeeping. What? I think of like deep cleaning emotionally and intensively. And so I started out in Belize, and it was like one of the last days was a day that we had like a yacht day, a catamaran day, and it was like one of our last biggest days as the group. And then transferring into my solo vacation retreat that we actually are supposed to do this week too, which is kind of cool. And when I say emotional housekeeping, okay, I was sitting here sobbing on the dock, like just weeping, looking out at the water, similar to like what I'm doing now, and just like thanking God for being here, for my body, my mind. Like anytime I open my hips, and I just open my hips before I'm doing this video, like I just feel release. And so this week was about releasing. And then also talking about how your integrity is your inner truth. And that's true. Like that's the alignment with your inner truth, your integrity. And so it was really cool just diving deeper into, your value or my value of integrity, leaning deeper into myself and my authenticity. And it made me a little bit uncomfortable because, of course, there's times where I'm like, I need to be doing this and this because this is what society says, but that's not true. Just like going with your creative self and who you are, that's what's going to lead you forward with so much excellence. So I love that. Boom. And So it was talking about some common feelings that you would say you would have, and so I'm going to affirm these. We're going to talk about them. Resistance to the morning pages or feeling blah. Now, I had this trouble last week, but I just slack off on the weekends. I feel like I do have the enthusiasm for morning pages, but then I slack off on the weekends. However, for this week, there was a little bit of resistance because I know that the morning pages takes time. Ooh, wait, is this an epiphany? That it takes time, and I know that it's me within myself. And so I've noticed that like towards the tail end, I tended to like wake up to my phone instead of morning pages, and then I would do them later, but it's not the same. So I did have a little bit of resistance. And I did have some sadness. I think I had some sadness because when you're talking about identifying what you've outgrown, it's helping, like you're becoming aware of the things that you know you need to change. And this was me. Like I became aware, especially in Belize, that I want to live overseas. I do not want to be in DC anymore. And I know I keep like saying, oh, but my friends are here and I love them. And also I know that like my entire fabric of my being wants to move overseas. And so like there was grief that came with that because I know that there's a life that I've established here that I know it's going to be a big transition, a big change when I do that. And maybe you'll follow me on that journey too. But oh my goodness. So there was a little bit of everything, of sadness, of grief, but then there's also so much gratitude and joy of the blessing of being aware. And I don't know if you believe that, but like being aware is such a blessing. That is step one into healing and into change. And so being aware of the things that you've outgrown, now it goes back into like remaining who you are, what you enjoy, and then leaning deeper into that with faith and confidence. So I get excited about this, y'all. I felt a little raw, okay, a little tender, a little sensitive. I won't even lie. Like I wanted to be held for real because it's just like when you become self-aware, when you have this awakening, it activates something in you and you feel yourself closer to your dream. You feel yourself closer to your dream, but you don't know how, and so you really have to rely on faith. And this is why I firmly believe that everyone needs to have a spiritual practice, because I feel like this world is just so much bigger than us. You see the sniffles I still have from Belize? That's crazy. And it's actually really cold out here. But one of the affirmations that it's like, when I think of week 4, it's like I'm safe to be who I am. Like it's okay to be radiance in all of my fullness and my authenticity, and I'm safe to be who I am. Now let me show y'all how the sun is starting to set. It's so beautiful. Look at this. So this is what I get to see as I talk to you. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to have a moment of pause for this beautiful sunset. Like God is good. God is good. All right, back to this beautiful sun setting girl, me. All right, so let's keep going. What's next on my little notes? Oh my gosh. So one of the key things that we were supposed to do this week, or we are doing, is it supposed to do, we should do, we are doing, reading deprivation. So reading deprivation is when you do not read. Now what's crazy is I like to read, but I audible read. And so I was like, oh, this will probably be easy for me. I've seen videos of other people where they're like, this is the hardest thing they've ever done, XYZ. But I felt like it wasn't that bad. And so that was this week's big task. And what's crazy is that if I was to grade myself on my reading deprivation, I would give myself a D, baby. Because I didn't even realize, like, I read comments on social media. Like I love the, like what we would call like Black Twitter. I love reading people's comments. People are so witty, okay? Like it just, but I realized that took up a lot of my time. Going back to last week, remember when I said I scrolled a lot? Yeah. Jesus. Radiance. And so I read. I won't even lie. I read. And I already have a little idea that I'm probably going to revisit this week and actually keep putting in that reading deprivation, because now I see why, a little bit more separated from it. But it's because like it's not allowing me to be creative on my own. So when I don't read, then more than likely I'm stretching or I'm writing, I'm playing Sudoku. I've been obsessed with Sudoku. Like I just sit here and I play it and I write my feelings because it's a mindfulness Sudoku. And so I'm going to work on not reading a little bit more or reading less, right? In a healthy manner. And I know what I'm talking about because it's not even like I'm reading good things. I'm reading comments. But the purpose of reading deprivation is to clear your mind from all the overload of information going in, and I definitely could have done better. So I give myself a D, and that's a strong D. I'm immature, but I hope to do better. I'm gonna do better. That's gonna be my goal. All right, so, and it's like, yeah, so some of the things they tell you to do is replace reading with drawing, dancing, walking, organizing your space, anything. And I've done I did some of those things. Like I completely was trying to just be present, but I won't even lie, I did scroll a little bit, especially when I came back from Belize. Oh my God, my nose. All right, so I would say reading deprivation is like reclaiming your time and energy. And what calls to me again, it would be my Sudoku, or it would be me creating or doing this, like sitting out in freaking nature. Like I'm just sitting in nature. I mean, I'm still reading, kind of, but it's still beautiful. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about this. And there's some prompts here, and it's like, what truth about myself have I been avoiding? That I do not want to live in Washington, D.C. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I just feel like I've outgrown my environment. I've been here for 13 years. I have a great family. I just also think that some of the things that I aspire and those things that are deep on my heart are outside of the United States. And when you think about it, the United States is only 4% of the world. Like, that means there's 96%, I mean, minus the oceans, we get the vibes, but like to explore. And I feel inclined to do that, especially knowing that I can look and sit at beautiful landscapes around the world, just like I'm doing here. And why not? I can always come back home. The U.S. is my home. I love that. But, just wanting to explore something different. So I would say that was a truth I was avoiding because I was doing the right thing of, living in the city, D.C., being a successful person, blah, 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 which is true. But my measures of success are just all different than where they were 10 years ago. Let's say it like that. What are yours? Do you, like, your measures of success, or like, do you feel like 10 years ago, it was different than now of what you think success means to you? That's what I'm thinking. All right, so, oh snap, dang, I feel attacked. What distractions do I use to avoid my own voice? I definitely look at like other people's stuff, and not in comparison, but like I'll just consume content instead of being the one to exude my brilliance or my genius and whatever that is. Like I'll just look at other people and hype them up, knowing that I still have things within inside me that are willing to be hyped up also. So I know that I do that sometimes. Also distractions, TV, binging. My nose is about to run. I definitely binge TV. Not a lot, but I know that when I binge TV, I just want to do nothing. And I allow myself one of those days a month. But when I see like multiple, ooh, yikes, girl. All right, what part of myself am I ready to reclaim? Oh, wait, hold up. I'm ready to reclaim my wealthy self. Like, I am done with the kind of like working to survive versus feeling and being abundant, and that also meaning financially as well. And so I just really want to dig down and figure out some ways to get that abundance by using my gifts and my talents. And that's also why I started this book and this kind of course, is to help pull that out of me. I love prompts. I love being creative. I love things that are going to push me. And I'm ready to reclaim rich beep radiance. That beep was a little cuss word. I didn't want to do it, but that's who I'm ready to reclaim, for sure. And let me know in the comments, what are some of yours? What are you reclaiming? What are you ready to step into? Oh, yeah. Some of the tasks, which are cool, we're talking about your ideal environment. And this is also where I get the idea of, yes, needing to live overseas, because that's like my ideal environment. I was like, warm water, beautiful weather, and people. You see, I'm in a puff jacket sitting outside, sun gazing. And so, yeah, it talked about time traveling, describing yourself at 80. That was so hard. I can't even think of myself 5 years from now. 80 years old? Who am I? Like, I loved it, but it like scared me. So I still want to do that prompt deeper. I did like really high level. I said, I'm a baddie. I'm a baddie for real, competing in masters, traveling the world. I have a book tour. I'm also relaxing in different like spas and places. I'm taking care of my body. Oh, that just felt so good to even hear. And then it also has like a time travel about having a letter from yourself at 8 to your current age. And so it was really cool to just see all the different versions of Radiance. All baddies, all baddies. It talks about your environment and cleaning up a part of your house. And I ended up doing that towards the end, maybe kind of week 5, don't say nothing. But I cleaned out my meditation room. I had so many clothes, and I cleaned that out. And now it's like going to be my altar. Oh my God, look at the sunset. Look at this. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Look at it. Oh. It's just, I love this. This is like my little artist date with myself, watching the sunset. I did sit out on my balcony this morning and got some like sun in as well. Remind myself, I think, do I? No, I need to remind myself to bring tissues next time. It's freezing out here. All right, it talked about your life pie, and I know that it's from before. I'm kinder to myself. One of the crazy things I did not do, and it's wild because I write prayers all the time, is you're supposed to write an artist prayer. I did not do that. So next week, check in. I'm going to come back on week 5 with that. And use it for a week. Wow, this is really beautiful. All right, so and then it talks about like throwing away things that you don't want. And so as I was cleaning out the room, I did like put piles of clothes. Oh my gosh, I ran out on my SD card, and I knew this. And I just kept talking. How do I be talking so much? Let me show you one more time, because we about to land this video. All right, let me see. Is it? There we go. Why isn't it? There we go. There's the sunset. Look at that. So beautiful. Aw, makes me really happy. All right, so let's go back to me. It's me. All right, let's finish this really quickly. And so where was I? Okay, talking about throwing out clothes that don't really appeal to you. And so I've been doing that bit by bit and putting away piles, even really nice clothes that I don't wear yet for my friends. And then, yeah, How many days this week did I do my morning pages? Every day but the weekend. Again, like, I just struggle a bit. I was a bit more inconsistent this week because traveling, not an excuse, but it's something to be aware of and curious and see how I can create more time to still, even if they're not first thing in the morning, like, get there, you know? Did I do my artist date? What's crazy is that my artist date was me hanging out at the dock. And wow, like, I did it 3 different times, I would say. One in a teal bathing suit, one in a bronze bathing suit, and then one in a purple bathing suit. And those were like over the course of 2 different days. And I call this my artist date because I was just out there by myself with my music, just doing different movements with my body. And I know at one point I was doing athletic and artist, but like, whoa, I don't know what it is. I've been off track a little bit. So I kind of combined these here. And it was just so beautiful. Even when I was on my bronze bathing suit, I stayed out at the dock for like a long time, and I ended up sobbing and worshiping and just going to my knees in prayer and worshiping God. Like, that was Tuesday. Yeah, it was just so beautiful. Like, I just had a moment of just thanking God and just also thanking him for all these gifts and talents, like similar to what we've been talking about every week. And so my artist date was a date with my body and the beautiful dock. And here's some like highlights from that. And it was just a really beautiful time. The water is so turquoise. One of the days, a guy came up and he started doing exercises alongside me, and he says that he runs every day. He was such a kind guy, and he just walks the beach back. It was really nice. Like, the locals were great. It was a beautiful space. I was scared that I would drop my camera, but I didn't. Yay! So it was really nice. I love the artist date, and I love dating myself. Lots of synchronicity. I don't remember because I'm recording this after, but I remember the feeling of synchronicity, and that makes me really happy. And I know that's kind of like glazing over that question, but I do know, and I want to be more intentional about writing it down. And so I can revamp it, because I don't do these videos at the end of the week, which I should. So we'll figure that out. And then any other issues that I consider significant for my recovery? I don't think any issues. It's just like really taking a lot out of me, and it's bringing up a lot of emotion, which I guess that's what it said. So coming up next is week 5, recovering a sense of possibility, examining your payoffs and remaining stuck. Jesus, like, examining the cost of settling for appearing good instead of being authentic. Dang, girl, like, Jesus. So yeah, next week is week 5, and I think I also want to revisit weeks 1 through 4 a little bit. So I may do a pause every 4 weeks. Actually, I might do that. I might do a pause every 4 weeks, and because it's my journey. And I want to get the most out of it versus just like going through. So, all right, let me wrap up this video, because this might cut me off again, talk about my SD card. It's because I just want to make sure that all my Belize stuff is transferred over. And I've been having a lot of storage because I've been recording a lot. I'm in my YouTube bag. Speaking of, that was actually my artist date for week 3 that I failed to mention. And that YouTube creators event was so dope. And so I learned a lot, and I learned more about other creators, and I'm excited to keep this journey. If you like this content, then like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Say what's up in the comments. Tell me about your journey. I want to hear from you. And I mean, you know, there's always things that we could chat about. Ask me any questions. Let me show you the end of the sunset. Oh wait, don't enable active track. There we go. Here's the end of the sunset. Isn't it nice? So this is what I've been looking at. this whole time.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all next week, baby. Make sure to take a class, breathe on purpose, and just go have a good life. That's what you're supposed to do. We are entitled to do that because that's our birthright. All right. Peace out.